trouble that we get into. Other than a wild hair once in a while, we can't help it, it's just our style. Good old boys is all we'll ever be. I got an elderly claim that's 6 weeks overdue.
That's a great song.
I love that song. So fitting when we listen to some of that.
We were listening to it the other day, and I had it in the car, and Dawn said, "Why are you laughing at that song? You hear it every day." I said, "I don't hear this verse every day.
We don't get that far.
I don't ever get that far.
If we waited that far, the show would be half over.
There you go. Welcome to the South
Appreciate
Texas
Mo
TV
Bandy
Studios.
for letting us use that song.
Absolutely. You know what? It's one of the highlights. It reminds me every day. We literally walked up and asked him in person, how would somebody go about using one of your that song for Good Old Boys for an intro on a radio program? He goes, well, gee, I guess you'd have to talk to the guy that wrote it and get his permission. I go, oh, how would we do that? He goes, go ahead. I wrote it. Y'all can have it. Super nice.
It was awesome.
Super nice. It helped that we knew him.
Yeah.
Or you knew him better than I did, but we knew the guy. Had spent some time with him. But he would want us to welcome you to the South Texas TV studios, welcome you to the Wade and Carter Show alongside Ash. I'm Carter, Wade and Carter. That's us. I'm Brent.
I'm Ash.
And hi, and we're glad to be here. You know, I joke about a friend I used to have in the insurance business. I said, some people, they've been in the insurance business 30 years, and they have 30 years of experience. Other guys have 1 year of experience 30 times. And Joe was that guy. He had 1 year experience 30 times. And sometimes I feel like it's our first day on radio, and I want to give you credit for something. Our results do not show you that. The timeliness of the things we report and the pertinence of the items we choose to talk about is becoming more and more on point every day. When I left here yesterday, I flipped on a local channel and listened to Glenn Beck, who's nationally syndicated, obviously has a team of people that tell him what he should talk about. And Glenn Beck was talking about that Baltimore Orioles announcer that got indefinitely, suspended.
Yeah.
Then,
he's been suspended for already almost 2 weeks.
I get home and Robert Ford, the great play-by-play guy on radio for the Astros, when I listen to other feeds, when I'm in the vehicle, I'll go to Sirius and listen to other, unless I get Dan Shulman, there's nobody else in baseball as good as Robert Ford doing play-by-play.
Except Dan Shulman.
Is that what I said? I said Dan, didn't I? Yeah, he's the best.
For him.
I think he's also nationally ESPN, and he's been doing it a lot longer than Robert.
Too.
At the game last night, just to bring it full circle, the Astros, we'll get to the Astros update because it's just chilling. They're playing the Orioles in Baltimore. Earlier in the day, a Yankees announcer made some comment about the Yankees haven't done this and this, and since they did it against Baltimore. He goes, oh, man, I hope the Orioles don't suspend me.
Yeah.
He just told the facts that the guy got suspended. At the game last night, Ash, the Orioles fans were screaming, free Kevin Brown.
Good for them.
Free Kevin Brown. If you become such a homer with your team that you can't deal with the fact, if Robert Ford says Astros dropped several key opportunities in the last week to move ahead of the Rangers, if the Astros decide that's negative and suspend him, then I'm off the Astros like I'm off the NBA. I would send my message in writing daily to Dana Brown of the Houston Astros saying, let the man be a journalist. Let him tell you what's going on. You don't have to always go, if
you're a fan, you're going to know
what's
going on, and you probably will gloss over
those
down times. But let's be honest, the Orioles this year are having a season that's an anomaly because they've been bad for the last 5 or 6 seasons.
Decade.
They're having a good season. It might be a one-off. It might not. We won't know until next year.
They've got some talent.
But they haven't been that good, and pointing out the fact that your team has a chance to win a series or the season series against the Rays for the first time in 5 seasons?
Yeah.
That's
Last
an
time they did it was in
accomplishment.
17.
Yeah.
And to give you an idea about how things cycle, Astros going through a tough stretch. I can't help it if the Yankees aren't the Yankees that we're used to. They're still the Yankees. And when you're going to New York to play, you take 2 out of 4, you pack your bags and you get out. You're glad. You go to Baltimore and you have a chance to beat the team that's leading the American League East.
Which is, I think, the toughest division in all of baseball.
No doubt about it.
There's not a team under 500 in that division, folks.
No, they're all good. And you look at it and you say, you have a chance to beat them and move on. Well, guess what? The Rangers are making hay out on the West Coast, beating up on the hapless Oakland A's.
Yeah.
The Rangers won 6-1 last night.
They've won 8 in a row.
We will get to the Astros update in a minute.
Well,
and
we pretty much just did it.
Well, except that here's the deal. It was a pivotal game.
Astros update brought to you by First State Bank. Louise, the friendliest little bank anywhere.
Might as well do it.
Might as well.
Astros were down 5-0. Gave up.
Fromber was in no danger. Or let me rephrase that. Johnny Vandermeer's record was in no danger of being equaled by Fromber Valdez. A walk and a home run right off the bat. Pretty much.
Now the no-hitter's looking like the anomaly. I mean, he had 3 starts following the All-Star break, and his ERA was 9. And then he got run out of a game in the 4th inning. Not the Fromber that we've come to really appreciate, certainly not ace status.
No.
Then he throws a no-hitter on the day they announced JV is coming back.
Yeah, let one base runner on a walk.
Apparently,
he still faced the minimum thanks to a double play.
Yeah, basically. I mean, as close to a perfect game as you could have without having one. And then you come back, and the way you validate that is by giving up a couple of dingers, and it's 5-0 like in the 2nd or 3rd. And then all of a sudden, the Astros started chipping away. The Singleton kid they brought up is a big man. I don't know if you saw him.
Well, he's back. He was if I'm not mistaken, a first-round pick, and at one point the most highly regarded prospect the Astros had, back when they weren't very good. And then I don't know what happened. He didn't quite climb the ranks the way he should have. He got to the majors, got a couple of looks, couldn't really hit for power, couldn't hit for average, and then they traded him around and brought him back thinking, you know what, he's still young enough.
Yeah.
And maybe he's figured it out. And so they sent Julks down, brought Singleton up, and we'll see. I mean, I like the guy. I think, but you can't really call him a kid anymore because he's not.
And they still like Julks. I really thought they were going to activate Michael Brantley, but I think maybe Brantley's just there, honestly, as an advisor and assistant coach now.
Fromber gave up 6 earned runs in 7 innings yesterday.
So
on 8
walk me
hits.
through the scenario. How did we get the 3 runs that made it 6-3 late?
Well, we scored 2 in the 3rd, and then we added a run in the 8th.
Was that a home run? Oh no, a Bregman had a hit.
Was that the
Who had RBIs?
Tucker with 5, Diaz
had 1,
and Pena.
So
Trying to remember what happened.
Astros score a run, and
it's 6-3 going into the 9th.
I believe they still lead the major leagues in the most runs scored 7th, 8th, and 9th
I think
inning.
you're right.
And sure enough, late in the game, the Singleton guy gets on. I guess he walked.
Pena singled, Tucker scored in the 8th. That's how it got there.
There you go. So, yes. And earlier, Tucker singled, which is how we got one of the runs.
On the bases loaded, and then Diaz hit a sac fly as I pull up the scoring summary.
Yeah.
That scored Bregman to make it 5-2. So then go to the top of the 9th, and they bring in arguably the best closer in all of baseball right now.
Bautista, a huge man.
And the guy does not throw. I think his slowest fastball was 99 miles an hour yesterday.
Yeah, everything's 100. And they bring in
101, 102. And not just one time, every time.
At this point, Sheriff Louderback's on my sofa going, come on, Astros. Are we going to give this thing? I mean, it's 6-3.
Yeah.
This game's basically over. They what happened? We get the Singleton gets on base.
Singleton walked, right?
Altuve
To get on base.
follows him with a single. We have runners at first and second. Jordan Alvarez comes up.
Bregman then struck out swinging.
Right. Alvarez bangs one off the left field wall.
Center field
wall. But it was in such a way that the center fielder picked it up, threw it straight in, and since there was only one out, the runners weren't advancing.
Well, it wasn't a no-doubter. That's the thing. Like you weren't sure if it was going to get caught at the wall. You weren't sure if it was going to get out of there.
In my mind, it was a home run or an out.
Yeah.
And instead, it hit the wall and dropped. It didn't bounce.
No, center fielder had a shot at it, but he was still probably about 2 feet shy of getting to it. It was hit that deep and that far. And Alvarez, I mean, I thought, there's their chance to tie the game at least and go into extra innings.
I was hoping for that. AJ and I both just went,
So it turns into a long, long single.
Yes.
I mean, 400-foot single for
bases
lack of a
are
better
loaded,
term, right?
and Tucker comes up, proceeds to have a 9-pitch at-bat.
Quickly falls behind 0-2.
Oh, yeah.
Swung at a fastball, didn't get it, or no, was it called strike? I can't remember. And then
I think he took the first strike.
And then he swung at a breaking ball that he missed, and I thought, here we go. But boy, did he hang in there and battle. Fouled a couple off. The 2 pitches he fouled off, one back into the catcher. There's no way he was holding on to it. I think it caught him in the breastbone. And then the other one he fouled off, and it was off to the left side a little bit. But I'm like, Tucker's dialed in right now.
Yeah. And then that guy made a mistake and threw one right over the middle of the plate, and Tucker hits into the right field bleachers for a no-doubter.
Yeah.
It was in the stands.
Grand slam.
Astros take the lead 7-6. Presley comes in and shuts them down 1-2-3. Astros win 7-6. Astros win.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing my Tucker jersey.
Front runner. But awesome game. But here's what amazed me yesterday with that. And this is where the analytics get trumped by the bravado and the machismo of mano a mano. Kyle Tucker. And baseball is one of those sports that
it's a stats dream,
and since Moneyball, how's that working out for the A's these days?
Not so good.
No. But baseball is such a stat and data driven league, and there's so many decisions based on that.
And it's streaky
on the daily.
It's streaky. A guy may be hot one week, and the next week cold as ice.
So you've got the bases loaded, and Bautista. Obviously, in my opinion, maybe doesn't have his best stuff last night because Jordan Alvarez just about drilled it. So the next batter's Kyle Tucker. Bases are loaded at 6-3.
So tell him what Tucker's doing.
So
since the All-Star
data
break.
would show you that Kyle Tucker, since the All-Star break, has the most runs batted in the American League.
And he's second in RBIs for the whole American League for the whole season.
Yeah.
So this is
a guy that he had 77.
He knocks in runs, people.
And in his last 3 weeks with runners in scoring position, including earlier in the game, he lifted his average to 454 in the last 3 weeks. 3 weeks plus, almost a month. In the last month, he's one of the hottest hitters with runners in scoring position, second base or better. Now the bases are loaded. And he hit one in the first or in the second inning, I think, wasn't it, with the bases loaded?
Right,
hit a single. Nice piece of hitting, but he seemed a little bit disappointed it was only a single. So why wouldn't you
walk him?
Don't let Bautista throw another pitch. Intentionally walk him. It's 6-4. You've got the bottom of the lineup left to face.
Who hasn't hurt you all night?
Not really, and hasn't.
And there's no threat to hit a home run. Who's next? Abreu?
Diaz, I think.
But instead, the machismo of baseball, the Orioles believing their own publicity. Well, we lead the American League East, the toughest division in baseball. We're the Baltimore Orioles. You're in our backyard. We're going mano a mano right here. We're bringing our best against your best. Let's see what you got.
We're conjuring up not Earl Weaver, but Joe Altobelli.
We're going to make a statement in case we face you again in the playoffs. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Now, it does matter that their manager got run earlier in the game for arguing a call. Had he been there, he might have said, hey, I'm not licking our wounds, but very little has gone right our way tonight. with the umpires. Let's walk this guy, and let's work on the guys behind. They had 2 outs.
Yeah. No, 1 out, I think. Bregman was the only out at that point.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I would not have.
But I still think I said, why don't they walk? I said this to myself because I was the only one. Wow, and one of the dogs was sitting there with me.
And Stanley goes,
Yeah, more or less. Stanley was going, rock 'em. He knew. Stanley knew.
There is some strategery.
And then Tucker hits the home run, and Stanley goes, row, Raggy.
Now, tell the truth. You're the only one in the room. Cheryl may have been asleep. Did you scream?
When he hit the home run?
Or did you just go, nice
Well,
one.
I said to myself out loud, by the way, because I talked to myself out loud, I said, why don't they walk Kyle Tucker here? Self? Why don't they walk Kyle Tucker here, Self?
When you
Referred
talk
to
to
myself
yourself,
twice.
being kind of a semi-celebrity, when you talk to yourself, do you address yourself in like third-person
there's
nickname?
no third person.
Third-person nickname?
I have a conversation with 2 different personalities.
Right.
No, but then
Tell you
after
what.
when Kyle Tucker hit that one, and I was like, well, first of all, I kind of semi-screamed with Jordan because I'm like, oh. But then I realized it wasn't going to get caught. But then when Tucker hit that one, I went, yeah. It was gone like that, just like that. A little more emotion because I was caught up in the moment. But it was a yeah. Scream, fist pump. Then I just prayed. I prayed that the bullpen would hold the win.
I could not help last night, but
boy, that was a great game.
But think of one Terrence Poole. Played such a steady right field for the Astros, much like Tucker. Quiet, nice guy, family guy, team first.
Not quite as much power as Kyle Tucker.
No, but you go back to the 80 playoffs where Poole hit like 526 or something stupid, just something stupid, unfathomable.
That I think until Albert Pujols came along, nobody had touched it.
Yeah, guy named Pujols.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Terry Poole was dialed in. And I think right now, at this point in the season, Kyle Tucker is dialed in. And I think the Astros served notice last night. I do. I think had they lost that game, you would have remembered it late in the season. And I think the Texas Rangers went to bed last night going, dang it, man.
I think the way they won that game was more impressive than and made more of a statement than if they would have just lost the opener against the Orioles. Mm-hmm. That might have been, and it's too early to tell, but because you can't really until you start looking back at this season, could have been a defining moment of the Astros' stretch run for sure.
Of their defense of their title.
And it's the type of loss that could send the Orioles.
They get real. Bautista did not look too good afterwards.
No, they pulled him afterwards.
Absolutely.
But anyway, Astros win 7-6. Great game. That's the Astros.
And the Astros update brought to you by the friendliest bank anywhere, First State Bank of Louise. I'm going in today. I'm going in this afternoon. I'm going to find Lolly. I intend to make a lot of racket.
Lolly's not hard to find. She sits like right there inside the door.
And she's smiling.
Yes.
But I intend to make a lot
of racket.
She'll
say hi to you when you walk through
and
the door.
I'm going to take Caden in there and open a checking and savings account for him. I want him to have a debit card. I don't care if he gets any physical checks or not. But I'm tired of him. He looks like a pimp. He's walking around. He works for his uncles and he works for me and he baby dog sits and everybody pays him. And the kid's got a stack of 20s. Looks like a pretty decent
Caden
hooker.
has to be paid in Bitcoin.
Right. And
then you can keep it in a digital wallet.
You know, and he says things like, he's very humble. He'll say things like, Caden's going to do what Caden's got to do. You know, KK.
Very humble.
KK's going to do what KK's got to do. You know that you're getting a little big head when you talk of yourself in third person nickname.
Yeah.
You know, if Junior Samples starts saying JR is going to do what JR's got to do, you know that's a little. What would Junior do? I'm going to drink on it.
Hey, what's the Wade and Carter weather going to do? We didn't get to that this morning.
Well, the good
Brought to you
folks
by the great folks at AT Deerlam Hay and Feed. Corn is on sale right now. You'll get a better deal if you pay cash. So stop on by, and Deerlam will hook you up with all your corn needs. They've got square bales if you need some hay for some of your animals. They've got that for you.
Yesterday's prediction for today was 79 to 101. Today's prediction is 81 to 100.
So we're a little warmer on the get-go and
right
not quite as
there.
hot on the end-go.
You know, it's funny. We don't have to get to A.T. Dearlam at the very beginning because they're going to be here. For over 50 years, they've been serving Victoria's ranchers and farmers and the folks in this area. They do a tremendous job, and they're super nice folks.
They are.
I'll go in there and say, I want to throw myself on the mercy of you guys. I said, Ash comes in here. He knows what he wants. He knows he wants these cattle cubes. He knows he needs this, bifin, or he needs this.
But I also
honcho.
ask him if I'm not sure. I'll ask him if because Cheryl will tell you I research stuff.
He puts
So
that
I'll go
mane
in there
and
and
tail
say-
on his hair.
Yeah, you can tell it's nice.
Uses that
Soft.
mane and tail.
Feel that.
Oh, no, it's nice. No, it's nice.
But I'll go in and I'll say, so which would you prefer? Or, I've tried these, looking for, I have, or they're out of the feed, they're out of the sweet feed that I want. And my cows, they're spoiled. They don't like the ones not as sweet. So I'll ask them, which one's a little sweeter? And they'll tell me, and then I'll buy that one, and the cows eat it.
There you go.
They will. I'll pour the not so sweet one in the trough, and they won't touch it. Seriously.
I may try to start
spoiled.
buying Caden like some hair care products down there. I got on to him the other day. I walked by and kind of felt his hair. He gets to shower a lot because of sports and all that. And I said, your hair's not really that soft for the amount of conditioner we're going through upstairs. I want to talk to you about that. Yeah. I'm trying to get him a sponsor. Tresemme or somebody. Man. Like that hair ought to be so. Dad, stop it. Take some of that bass out of your voice.
Something else ain't soft either.
lie
With
to
all
me.
something else ain't soft with all the conditioner he's going through either.
Man, the AC comes on. He has to leave the room. Folks, the law offices of Steve Kidder. Let Steve Kidder help you with all your legal wranglings and finaglings. Steve Kidder knows his way around the courthouse, mostly because he's been indicted several times. Not really.
Oh, just kidding.
Steven's great. Convicted? Never convicted. Steve Kidder can help you battle the courthouse, and you'll love it. Atzenhofer, Atzenhofer.com.
Since 1926, they've been here since then. They're not going anywhere, folks.
If you think it's too hot to go shop for a new car, do it online. Atzenhofer's got a great inventory. Super nice folks. Call over there and tell them Wade and Carter sent you and go by, and they'll probably, add some kind of a gross
And they do a
up
really
fee.
good job of keeping Atzenhofer.com up to date.
Yes, sir. Every day. The Gray Barn Mercantile. Reach out to Cheryl for all your accoutrement needs.
Yep. She's open today, 10 o'clock, right
Ish.
there at Airline and
Ish.
Laurent. And look for the gray awning.
I'm not saying that
The awning
Cheryl's
is up.
store is laid back. Cheryl, you see, the liquor stores don't open until 10, and Cheryl gets there usually just a couple of minutes after they open. So 10-ish, Cheryl will be there.
She's punctual.
She is. She always has a little Mickey left over. AJ's detailing. Let AJ revamp, restyle your tractor. You got a tractor? Junior had a tractor.
Still does.
Took it down there. AJ buffed it and shined it, and it was unbelievable. Just the daily use of a tractor. You get the nuisance scratches where the wee sash and stuff drags on it and all that. This thing was
Happens.
shiny. You could see yourself in the fenders when and it's plastic, but he buffed it all out. Fantastic. AJ's detailing. We didn't mention yesterday. We will mention today. Donnie told me that there's pineapple. Is it pineapple pork chops? Is that today?
I don't
think
know.
That's right.
Is that right?
Let me go look. The
Well,
chopping block.
If it's not, the chopping block has lots of great food. So stop on by. You want to do your own cooking? Get your meat from the chopping block. Phenomenal stuff. You got a brisket there and said it was just phenomenal.
It was unbelievable. Isn't this today? Let's see. You tell me. Is that today?
No, that was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Yesterday was meatloaf day.
Yeah, but look, we're back with a new item on yesterday. It was also pineapple glazed pork tenderloin medallions.
That looked good.
Man. Go by. They'll take cash. They'll take your debit card right there at the trailer. You don't even have to go inside. You can drive in, get your food, and go on. It's always hot. It's a bonus to me that it takes them a minute. They go in there. They cut the meat fresh while you wait. It's not like there's not a warming tray with some au jus laying around. No. It is ready when you are, and it is fantastic.
So good. So stop on by today.
There's Alex Alvarez. Good
Yep.
morning, buddy. Hope
Mark
you're doing
Kurtz
good.
checking in. Torrin Bales, Peter McNally. Great game last night. Go Tucker. Will Vincent, good morning. Sheriff Louderback, Lisa Poole, Michelle Wilson-Hawkins, Jarrett McCrugan, good morning to you, cuz. Jordan Glass, Scott Snow, Tammy Keeling, good morning. Christina Wise checking in. H.R. Mallory, get to that in just a second here. H.R., let me finish roll call, and then we'll come back to that. Carrie Bump, Diane Tippett, Rena Scherer, Justin Glass, Don Posey, good morning, Judge.
Hi,
Patricia
Judge.
Nagel, Ricky King, Bobby Leister, Linda Chris, thanking us for helping Junior out. Marvin Mickish, good morning. Marvin back in. Top of the Scott Snow's in as well. I saw him come in. But H.R. Mallory says, hey, reminder, back to school, slow down.
Yes, folks. Nothing more tragic than hurting a child in a school zone. Be very careful.
Yeah. And there was more traffic on the road this morning coming in. Took me longer to get across turn on to 87 than it typically had all summer.
Victoria, Cuero, and Nursery all back to school.
And the parochial schools too. I believe.
And a reminder for you, and this is, HR would rather you slow down than give you a ticket. I'm just telling you, you know how it is early in the school year.
They tend to give warnings.
Pound those school zones though.
But they tend to give warnings. I think that's the wrong time to give a warning. I think right off the bat, give them a ticket. They know it's school's on. Because they're dropping their kids off, right?
Right.
Because let's be honest, typically who's speeding in a school zone?
Parents.
A parent whose kid is going to be late.
Just reminded me, I got to take care of a ticket Dawn got.
Yeah, sure she did.
She did.
You refer to yourself as Dawn now?
Oh, goodness. She did. She got popped. She was... Oh, she was cute and blonde, yeah. She got a ticket on the way to Yoakum. She was on that stretch. You go outside of Cuero and you veer off to the right to go to Yoakum.
Yep.
And here's how she described it. You know that long stretch of straight highway? Yeah. She goes, and your radar detector didn't go off until he turned around and got me. I said, so wait a minute. The radar detector didn't go off. You see the officer pass you. He turned around and still clocked you going 87 and a 70. Well, yeah, okay.
And you're not on future Interstate Corridor 69.
Right. $267. Yeah. She's only had, she blames me. She's only had 2 tickets in her life. I never had a ticket till I met you.
So that's your fault.
Yeah, it's my fault.
You're driving?
Sure. Sneaking up on 7 years.
Dang. It's been that long?
It'll be 6 years of marriage in September, but I've known her. So we met on September the 17th of 16, and we got married on September the 16th of 17. One year to the weekend later. I couldn't shake her. I just...
Junior, come on over. Oh, what's he going to do? I don't know what he's going to do.
He's got something rude.
No, nothing rude.
Oh, yeah, he's got something. He's got something behind his back. Give him.
I got the mic up.
Do you want to give him a camera?
Oh, yeah. You'll
need a camera for this.
I don't know.
I don't either.
Why we do this. I don't understand why we do this to ourselves.
It's because you love me. You really love me, Brent.
Oh, what is that?
It's his own trophy. It's a trophy that I got in the 6th grade. It says Hilldale Tigers, 1973.
That's valuable. You should hang on to that.
Yes, it is. And you know why?
Why?
Because I hit the last Grand Slam home run of the season to win.
Did you really?
What'd you win?
There's that trophy and the ball.
You didn't finish in last place, right? Let me see that trophy for a second.
Sure, it's kind of
I know
cool.
why he's pulling the Sally Field. It's because
what you said yesterday.
You gave him a little bit of praise.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He really did a great job filling in.
Well, and on top of that, I'm wearing
might have been the
my
last
new
year
favorite
that those trophy toppers were made out of metal too.
Yeah. This was a long time ago.
Let me put you on the spot on something.
Yes, sir.
I like your T-shirt.
Is there a chance? Yeah. Is there a chance that somewhere in the future, when Mr. Posey's obligations or Father Time tell him that he's done doing radio, is there a chance that you would take over that slot full time?
I would be absolutely honored, and yes, I would.
There you go.
Yes, I would.
So Junior's shirt says, after my dog ate my pronouns, he, she, it. everywhere.
I saw this on Facebook and went,
Had to
I got to
get it.
have one
Yeah.
of these. So
There is
yeah.
a great website that Ash turned me on to.
Nick Rule is in, and he is he might be the biggest Junior Samples fan
There you
around. So
Well, I appreciate that. 'Cause-
might be the only Junior Samples
Yeah, that's
fan
true.
around, but
yeah.
he's also the biggest.
Justin Switalik sends me some really good stuff on Facebook too.
go. That'd be Justin Switolski for those of you.
Switolski.
The
Oh, that's
Iceman.
Switalik guy.
Well, you know, I
We're
have
close.
to follow on with Posey because it's Justin Swalakowskatowski.
When you I don't know. I had it. It was there.
I don't know.
It'll come back.
Let me ask you, as someone who I know is an aficionado of guns and
Right.
a supporter of the Second Amendment. What do you make of the Supreme Court's decision yesterday to revive the Biden era regulation of ghost guns, the guns that people can buy parts for and build themselves?
Well, here's the deal. The deal on the ghost guns is there are very few of them. This is kind of like the cousin and incest on the abortion. It's very, very few. What they really need to worry about is people breaking into your house and stealing your guns and then committing crimes with it because they don't go through the background checks. The reason they call it a ghost gun is because they can actually build the gun in a machine shop and it has no serial number. And
or they can order the parts online.
See, here's the deal. You can
build it
order all the
yourself.
parts because that's not a gun.
Yeah.
That's not considered the gun. The actual receiver where the serial number is stamped is considered the gun. You have to go to a FFL to buy the receiver. I do this all the time, and it's totally legal because once you put it together, then it becomes a gun. Now, here's something that I didn't realize.
So can you actually buy the receiver online like they seem to
you
claim?
cannot buy the receiver
because
online.
The media would make it seem like you can buy all the parts to assemble your own gun at home online.
Well, let me rephrase that. You can buy the receiver online.
From an
but-
FFL license.
But you have to have it shipped to your FFL. So I could buy it from any gun parts
broker.
manufacturer or gunbroker.com, but it's got to be shipped to the Armory or my broker up in Shiner. And then he logs it into his books, and then you buy it out of him.
Okay.
And that's going to cost you like $25 more because you got to do the gun transfer. You pay them, but they ship it. You buy a gun out of state, they got to ship it to an FFL here in town so they can transfer it into your name. But, this deal on ghost gun, it's just a distraction. There's something going on that they don't want us to see. So it's just horse hockey. But, well, first of all, here's another thing.
Well, to
what
me,
part of would do not infringe upon do they not understand?
Well,
right. The Constitution doesn't mention you can own a registered gun.
Well,
That's
I think
right.
what shocks me most is Amy Comey Barrett
Yeah.
sided with,
Yeah.
she was the deciding vote in a 5-4 decision.
Yeah, well-
I was surprised based on everything you heard in her swearing in testimony that she was going to be,
Yeah. Yeah. She kind of let us down on this one.
a little bit.
But I mean, Roberts let us down
Well,
in
Roberts
during
let
the
us-
Obama administration. So,
And-
here's the deal, guys. They may be winning the game, but we're going to win the series. And I've read the book. We win in the end.
Mark Kurtz just said, you look taller when you're not standing next to me.
Kelly Fromme says the percentage of ghost guns used in crimes is nominal.
Yes,
Right.
it is absolutely just minuscule. You got not anybody can make a ghost gun. You've
bet
got to have a machine shop to do it, or a friend with a machine shop.
I bet you there's more guns used in crimes that the Obama administration sold to the cartel
Exactly.
than ghost guns.
Well, I mean, why didn't that get more attention whenever he sold all those guns across the border?
Well, because it
Well,
was
Obama.
and because the DOJ and the FBI and everything else have been politicized
Right.
let's be honest, the FBI has been politicized since it was formed.
Well, here's the deal. That killed a federal officer. They tracked that gun back to that sale. And not only that, but the gun dealer called the ATF and said, I don't want to sell these guns.
Nick Rule says it's because Wade and Carter didn't have a show at that time.
That's true. You know,
we would have brought attention
We would
to
have
it.
posted it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
oh man, I'm telling you that.
Matt
I was-
Boucher says, "Don't mess with Junior."
Did you see where
Might
Matt
be time to
Boucher
get-
became a granddad?
I saw that, and it might be time
Oh,
to
hey,
get Matt
ain't that
Boucher
something,
back
Matt?
onto the show.
Congratulations,
with all
sir.
this
That's
drought.
I
that
told him,
is
I
a
go, you may have been an
beautiful
old dad, but you're a really young-looking granddad.
And you know what? Nobody deserves it more than Matt right now.
No.
I mean,
awesome.
the loss of a daughter and then
I told him
get a
it's
grandson.
the circle of
Wonderful.
life.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely. My heart goes out to the man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Congrats to you and Erica. Awesome.
Beautiful family.
Cute baby.
And the key thing, and Matt knew to put it in there and said, Mom, baby, Dad, all doing fine.
Yes. Yeah, you know, it takes
That's
a
the
real
key.
man to, admit that he's got a good son-in-law.
Yeah, he did not say that.
Yeah.
He said that that sorry so
He
and
didn't
so
get
was
that.
still healthy. Yeah. My father-in-law ain't going to tell you that I'm.
You walk up on the driveway, he's sharpening a knife.
What's weird is my father-in-law and I are walking down the street, and I always feel like he's testing me because, like, we'll be walking down the street, and he'll go, "Look at her, isn't she something?" And I'm like, I don't see anybody, Joey. I don't.
Let me ask you something. When you're walking down to the street, do you walk on the building side or the street side?
I walk on the building side.
I bet.
I do. I'm not going to get shoved into the street.
He'd push you into oncoming
He
traffic.
tripped. Yeah.
Just tripped.
Baby,
No,
you can do better the second
He and
time.
I have a great relationship. It's both of us kind of make Dawn.
Well, you're the
center of
same
our
age.
lives. Yeah. Well, we went to different schools together.
Well, you know what's great about that? When they both get put in the nursing home, they can share a room, and she only has to go to one place.
Nick Rule says my father-in-law told me he makes guns. No other context. I support the Supreme Court decision because of him. That's nice.
That is funny.
They were concerned there for a
Well,
while.
but here's the problem, Nick. Their decision didn't rescind those guns. He still got them.
He still got them.
So-
And here's the deal: if they drop them and run, the only way they can identify who had it is fingerprints. You know.
They were concerned there for a while about the 3D printed guns, and
Yeah, but that's a one-shot deal.
that's
You
All
pull the
it takes is
trigger on
one
that,
if you're
and
a
it's
good
done.
shot.
right. If you can make a 3D printed suppressor,
Right. Now, see, that's another thing. Suppressors that you've got to have that in a trust, and they want to see that suppressor at 3:00 in the morning. They bang on your door. You got
you got
to
to be able to
produce
present
it.
it. Yep.
So, but you can put it in a trust and transfer it right to your kids. So, that's no big deal. And here's a lot of people don't know this, but the gun brokers here in town, like the Armory and
Dons.
yeah, Don's, they have the information to set up that trust right there.
Well, Sheriff Louderback has an FFL. If you
Yes.
needed to, if you need advice
Right.
and somebody to procure a weapon for you,
Mm-hmm.
number one, he can give you good advice on the type of weapon
Right.
you need based on what your usage
Well,
is going to be.
The sheriff and I've had several conversations about, what do you think of this round? What do you think of that
He's a
round?
Glock guy.
Yeah.
He likes
And see, I'm
Glock.
not
He
a
likes-
Glock guy.
He likes very few
Sig?
moving
You
parts.
Sig guy?
Nope. I'm a Browning guy.
Oh, okay.
I carry a Browning 40 caliber Smith & Wesson.
Okay.
High
That's
power.
a great round.
Yeah, I love 40
I've got
cal.
it. I've got it in a Sig, but
Yeah.
Sheriff Louderback's convinced
Do you know why they
me-
came up with the 40 cal? For FBI.
Is that right?
They wanted the stopping power of the 45, but they want the compact of a 9mm. Basically, so what they did was take a 10mm round and neck it down and put a 40 caliber round in it. Yeah, great round.
Today's ballistics moment brought to you by Junior Samples and all the
So,
other
Yeah.
paid assassins.
I go and
By the Junior Samples Militia.
I go and read about different
Find 'em on the dark
ammunition. Do you realize we're still paying money to the Mauser,
Is that right?
right? Because we took the
We
7
owed him for Kennedy.
Well, that too. But we took the 7mm Mauser and rolled it into the 30-06, and they sued us for copyright infringement.
Junior says, I've got a few weapons. I sometimes go home and throw open the door to my gun safe.
You've never seen my gun safe, have you?
My roll-up ballistic door. Folks, Allen's Record Service, 578-6300. Let Allen get you where you need to go. Your car breaks down, you need a jump, you need a tow, you call Allen.
They are your
He'll
go-to.
take
They're
care of
our go-to, too. So
The
use them.
VCS companies and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer power the Wade and Carter program. We're very fortunate to have such a long-standing quality relationship with both entities. the Hartman family
From the get-go.
believed
Yes.
in the format. And
Yep.
Jim Hartman,
I knew Jim Hartman's mom. I worked for her several times.
very rarely has Mr. Hartman said, I didn't agree with you guys on this.
She kept firing you and then hiring you back.
That's
huh?
right.
But he has assured me that the reason he supports the program is not because he believes everything we say. It's he believes in our right to say
Well, I
it.
went over to his to the AT&T store right there and bought my new Samsung yesterday.
As Ash and Junior have
Great
a
job.
side conversation, I'll tell you about Chesnick Furniture Company.
I know Bobby well.
Another
Just
one
a-
that's been there from the get-go.
He never
I work for
liked you.
Bobby.
I don't know if you knew that.
That's all right. You know, I'm used to that.
He told me, you guys keep Junior on the air and away from 116 West Juan Lynn. I don't want him at the corner of Juan Lynn and Bridge.
I'll pay you more if you keep him out of the store.
His
Keep him out of the
father
store.
was my neighbor for quite a few years.
Junior Samples, neighbor to the stars.
That's it. I'll drop a name and I'll like a corner
There
on the
you
street.
go. There you go. And by the way, folks, if you come to Palace Bingo, when friends meet friends, you'll hear Junior in the background. It's kind of like living next to the railroad tracks.
That's right.
It's,
Or a neighbor with 7 barking dogs.
and the guy will go, let's play this damn game. That's a good bingo. If you have a good bingo,
You
let
guys
me know.
keep it down,
Let me
please.
know.
Quiet over
Let me
there.
know. Can you hold it down over there? You there with the big head. Can you hold it down? You there, bobblehead. Hold it down. Today, Caldo Wednesday. Wednesday, Caldo
Caldo,
Wednesday.
Caldo.
Get
Wednesday,
into
Wednesday.
Veracruz today.
Hot
I went
soup
by.
on a 100-degree day.
But you know
Cools
what?
you down. It raises your core
works.
temperature, helps cool you down.
It works. I've gone in there and people are enjoying it. Usually, when you go in, if you had one thing to say about Veracruz, whether it's a positive or a negative, one thing would be it's loud. When you go in there, there are people
My kind of
visiting. You hear plates every now and then. You hear a plate hit the ground. I mean, it's a Mexican food joint. And on Caldo Wednesday, it's quiet.
Because, well, all you can hear is slurping of the soup.
And,
Yep.
and every now and then, some little lady go, that's hot.
It's like being in my Russian grandma's basement at Christmas time when she's got the borscht.
Yep.
Oh,
Slurp, slurp, slurp.
Dwayne Payne just said BR549, best cars in the USA.
that's right.
I don't know if Caldo Wednesday is a close second to Eastern Europeans' ability to slurp soup.
Did your mom ever make sauerkraut soup?
No, I think my grandma did though.
Oh my gosh. My dad used to make that sauerkraut soup.
I think my
in the
dad did a couple
wintertime.
of times. Anything with cabbage and soup, it's got me.
This trip down menu aisle brought to you by Junior Samples.
My favorite Polish restaurant in Brooklyn actually just closed in the last year. I was
With the
disappointed. They had they had really good borscht. They had lots of pierogies, cabbage rolls. It was good.
Me and you folks, let's just dial in together. We'll get
Slupa,
through.
it's called, but now it's closed. So
We have about 17 minutes left in the program, and I'd like to talk to you today about
soup.
taxation without representation. It's basically the foundation of this country is that we won't stand for it.
No, we won't stand for it, but we'll just bend over and take it.
That's a
That's
fact.
how it's gone.
Unbelievable.
Well, did you see that they're going to send another $1 billion to the Ukraine? Come on.
just a
You know,
billion? A billion's nothing.
And I hate to say it, it doesn't matter what we say and how much we tell the Biden administration to stop. They're
Yeah.
just going to keep doing it.
Absolutely. They're writing checks we can't cash.
But do you realize that to give you an example, if
Just
you have
give me one.
$1 billion, 1% is $10 million.
Yeah.
So if you can peel off 5% in some form or another for the big guy, you're still getting $950 million that you really have no logic to
Out of
have.
that billion, how much is going to come back to Hunter? Somebody's got to pay for his lawyer.
So there's the point. The Biden administration can peel off $40-50 million and get it shuffled back to them through their shell companies, which, by the way, have been proven to exist.
Yes.
21 of them or
they got
something
him
like
on
that.
that.
Yeah.
It's proven that they have. What you think? I'll just throw it to you this way: you think Michael Cloud has a shell company somewhere in Sweden that handles his campaign finance? The answer is no.
No.
I don't believe that. So why does Joe Biden need that? Because after 50 years in D.C., he needs it.
Yep.
He needs that.
You know what I like about Cloud? When he comes to town, he goes to dinner everywhere in town. You always see him sitting at a table at Pinto Bean or Las Palmas or someplace. He's always out in town.
Veracruz,
Yep.
chopping
He likes
block.
Veracruz. He likes chopping block.
Yep. I mean, you always see him, and he's always approachable.
This guy. Oh, you'll see
All
him
our
over
all our
You'll
non-sponsors.
see him over at Victory looking
Hey,
for a
I
new
hit
car.
all the sponsors. You know
You'll
that.
see him at Cayman looking at furniture.
Well, okay. So
I
he
know
has-
for a fact he only goes to Atzenhofer and he only goes to Chesnick Furniture. Who are you kidding?
Hey, they ain't paying me yet.
There you go.
Ukraine winning the lotto every month, according to Scott Tomko. Absolutely.
Can you just bring down Mike 3?
Yeah.
He can talk all he wants, just nobody will hear him anymore.
Speaking of winning the lotto, Mega Millions did get
One ticket.
one ticket in Florida
My
yesterday.
wife is totally depressed.
All I want is 5. I just want 5.
1.58 million.
Oh my God.
I thought for sure this was going to be the one that goes to 2 million just to
Yeah.
get us there.
Yeah.
Billion.
Billion.
Or 2 billion. That's
billion,
what I
yeah.
meant. Sorry, yeah,
It'll
1.58
happen.
billion.
It'll happen. Linda's really good about going. It's at 1.5 billion. We got to go get some tickets. Pick me up some tickets on the way home.
What if it was 1.5 million? You wouldn't take that?
I'd take
Well,
it
the
in a New
thing
York
is-
minute. I would take 5 million and just call it a day.
I realize that playing the lottery is a loser's proposition. I get that.
Yeah.
But when the numbers get so big that it's literally generational wealth,
Yes.
I would love for my
Multi-generational
great grandkids to go, oh, my great grandpa Brent, he was an idiot, but he did have enough chutzpah to buy that lottery ticket.
And left me enough money that
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
have to work for the rest of
Yeah.
my life.
Well, but see, here's the deal. There's an old saying, and my grandfather used to say this. It's shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. The people who make the wealth
That's true.
make it. The next generation respect it. The third generation
Blows it.
blows
Screws it
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
Yep.
My buddy
So-
Rosie will I'll ask him, hey, you want to put $20 on something, and he'll go, just give me a lighter.
Yeah.
He
Just
goes,
burn it.
I'll just light a
I get
20.
I'll get more
Yeah.
amusement and satisfaction and
You know,
and more out of just lighting that $20 and watching it go up in flames than
but
I
when
will
you get
from
to a certain point,
gambling or paying the lottery.
$15 ain't going to make or break you. You got to have some
No.
fun.
And if you win
Okay.
1.5 billion and you
Hey,
walk away with
that's candy.
500 million cash, you'd have a hard time. My
You couldn't spend it all.
yeah,
you
my,
could, you might die doing it, but you could.
Oh
My
yeah, I'm
breadth of
sure Hunter could go through
experience-
it in 3 hookers and,
Well, I mean-
and a line of blow.
Well, let's be honest. Our former president Trump has been a billionaire and bankrupt millions of times.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
That's a
I'm
little
sure
bit of a
he's
stretch.
feeding lawyers like crazy right now.
Scott
Thanks to
Tomko
his followers
says,
who are
yeah.
paying for it.
Yeah.
Scott Tomko says Ukraine wins the lottery every
Yep.
month.
Nope,
It seems.
they
like.
Yeah, boy, ain't that boy?
It's a
no
great
better words.
comparison.
You know, and
Can't win if you don't play, and chances are you won't win if you do play.
Right.
But
and
But that person in South Florida went, excuse me?
how many conversations in the last 2 months, because Powerball was over $1 billion, the Mega Millions now 1.58. How many conversations have you had with friends going, man, wouldn't it be nice? And then you sit there and you waste 15 minutes talking
about what you do with it. Yep. Oh,
It's a nice escape from reality when you're sitting there figuring out how to pay the bills.
We get in a car going somewhere, and Linda's like, the lottery's 1.5 billion. We need to get some tickets. I would give 10 million to one kid and 5 billion to the other kid. I'm like, no,
I'd set up trust.
no. We'll give all of it to Bailey and Ruby.
It would be nice to the donkeys.
Yeah, my
No, the
dogs.
dogs.
It would be nice to be able to set up trust where I don't know, you-
Unnamed grandkid number 5.
Yeah, that's
Right.
it. Yeah, yeah,
And they stop at 4, and then what
yeah.
happens?
And then
to it?
require them to take the Dave Ramsey program from beginning to end.
right? That's what you do. You give 10 million to Dave Ramsey and say give it away in scholarships.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
that
Give
is
it away in
really not a bad
scholarships.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, Dave Ramsey's an intimidating guy. I get his deal. I turn it on, and I know you're a teacher. You
Yes,
know,
I've
but
taught for 7 years.
I get the deal. What would Dave Ramsey do? Well, Dave Ramsey would say, pay that down. Cash is king.
Cash is
The
king.
Paid off mortgages replace the BMW as the new status symbol. But if you call in, he's kind of like Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, he's tough.
You call in and you'll go,
He is tough.
well, look, I'm on baby step 6, and I've got my 3-month nest egg set aside. And, well, my husband got a $20,000 bonus, and I was thinking about maybe replacing the flooring in our bedroom for $800. Don't be so stupid.
Yeah.
The flooring you've got is fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, Dave, really? You can do what you want, but you're an idiot.
My favorite one, and my favorite saying that Dave Ramsey says is the worst car accidents happen on the showroom floor.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's a genius when it comes to this stuff. Linda and I have lived it, worked it, and taught it. And I have brought more people to the cross through that program. People that come in and what'd they say now? Is Linda after me?
No, Linda's not after you. Nick Rule's after me.
Nick Rule says, if I won, I'd donate $5 million to endow the AD position at UHV as the Junior Samples Endowed Director of Athletics.
Oh my gosh, that would be so cool.
That would be the most
unathletic person in town. Look at this. This is not an exercise buddy. This is a tell nobody.
Junior would be in the stands going, he missed
Bring
the
me a
tag.
hot dog.
The AD sucks.
Look, I built this place. I get free hot dogs.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it.
Beautiful stuff. We love Nick Rule. Nick's where, Iowa?
Nick's in Iowa.
Is that the guy I met at the roll call?
No.
No, where is
Nick's an AD, fellow AD at William Penn University. Good friend of mine.
Well,
he's the guy I threw barbs at in yesterday's show.
Yeah. Well, Nick, come on down to Texas and
Nick,
we'll bend an elbow.
It's too
We'd
hot
love
for
to have
Nick
you
down here.
Love to meet you.
You need to make him a vodka cran if you're going to bend an elbow.
That's
with
fine.
Nick.
I'll make him whatever he wants.
Anything sort of pink, he'll drink it.
The problem with Iowa is, it's mostly clear. He likes to read his newspaper through his vodka cranberry.
Well, he's a Dave Ramsey fan. He can't afford glasses.
Well, that's why he puts it a little bit of cran in there, so it's rose-colored glasses.
For those of you that wonder what that sound was you just heard, here was Ash taking a drink of his coffee.
Mic check.
True story.
I'm like, man, about once a month now, I'm like, Ash, are you having a stroke? I mean,
You need to ask Cheryl that.
I'm not kidding you. He's such a pro that we could be standing here and all of a sudden I could just collapse to the ground.
You know what's
And Ash
crazy
would
is
go.
I knew Cheryl before I knew Ash. I worked with Cheryl at Citizens. So
Show must go on.
It wasn't anything at all like that Grey's Anatomy, was it?
no, it wasn't.
Okay.
No, not. Well, for some people it was, but not for me.
Not department either.
Yeah.
Ash
They
was just
delivered
saying the
babies.
show must go on. I'm going to go ahead and finish the show without Brent. Brent has left the building.
I'll dial 911. I mean, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Dead airs. I mean, dead man or dead air. It's a tough choice. Can't have both. It's one or the other. Pick one.
My
Let's
wife
see.
would just wouldn't like to have the dead air at home every now and then.
Your wife would pick dead.
Just
dead man.
dead.
Yep. What are you looking at here?
I'm looking at today's news just to see what's going on.
Well, you sent me a couple things last night that I want to get to because they were pretty good.
Hey, you know what? I wonder what happened at the school board meeting the other day. Was
BJ
it last
Nelson.
night?
It's tonight.
Oh, it's
okay.
tonight.
Well, you
I
know
thought it
what?
was yesterday.
I'm not saying BJ Nelson's a leader, but hey, BJ, call us and tell us what's gonna happen
Yeah.
at that school board meeting.
Yeah.
894-4020.
So apparently,
Look,
That
Don
was a
says,
couple years
Ash,
ago.
you would help him. No, he really wouldn't. I'm gonna tell you something. I have this
I'd
idea.
roll him on his back, and since CPR is now all chest compressions,
Just
Just
hit him with the
stand
foot.
on him.
Pump him like a
pump him
bicycle
like,
pump.
Yep, exactly.
I'll
And I
tell
can
you,
still do both.
If Ash and I were on a golf course, and let's just say I fell out due to heat exhaustion, depending on his score, he might take the time to dump my clubs off and strap me onto the back of the cart, and then he would drop me off at the clubhouse at the turn.
Don't get snake bit.
Right, or leave me with the cart girl. He would leave me with the cart girl.
Now, as someone who's had a heat episode on a golf course in Las Vegas many years ago, I would look after you. I take those things
Would you?
seriously.
Yeah. Well, it is interesting that you get to a certain age, and you hear it happen all the time. And we're all, I mean, Ash is a little bit younger, but Junior, you and I are both 60.
Right.
And you look at the deal, and you hear it all the time. So-and-so was working in his yard. He had heat exhaustion. He ended up in the hospital with an IV, and I'm like, well,
Absolutely.
the guy's only 3 years older than me.
I'm going to tell you
Now-
right now, I can't take the heat like I used to.
No, but the key is you can't beat the heat, so drink lots of water.
Well, not only that.
I was
but-
23 in Vegas, and it didn't matter.
That was the booze.
Well, that too.
We hadn't
And I'm going to
drank
tell you
yet.
right now, in the heat, booze is a definite, because alcohol dehydrates you.
Yeah. No,
And-
we hadn't drank yet. We drove 2 days straight to get to Vegas. spent
They
the
drank
night-
for the 2 days to
There
get
you
there.
Yeah,
go.
there we go.
Come on, you're Canadian. Don't lie. You had one in both hands. I've drank with Canadians. It's dangerous. Whew. I know when the Canadians would come down to Miramar and we'd play
I already
Canadian
learned that,
baseball.
Yeah, golf and drinking for me aren't a good mix.
There's that fine line. You know, you're out there, you have 3 or 4 pops, and it's like aiming fluid.
Yeah.
But you have 5 or 6 pops, and all of a sudden you can't
De-aiming
putt.
fluid, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
my
done.
problem is I get out there in the mornings and I got to go check my hives. I put the suit on, and those suits are hot. By the time I'm done, I'm dizzy.
If there's a space in those suits, bees get in, so there's no space.
Yeah, well, it's a mesh. But it still breathes, but it's
No, it
still
does,
hot.
yeah.
And it's miserable, no wind, especially with no wind blowing.
You live in the country.
Yes.
You don't have to wear clothes underneath that suit.
I don't.
By the way,
You didn't have to admit that. I didn't need that visual.
I have to, put on something under there to absorb that sweat because it's miserable.
no surprise here, but congratulations to our own Justin Marr as he announces he will be seeking election in 24.
He is for election.
I think he's doing a fantastic job. Ash and I, in general, don't endorse candidates, but Justin Marr is a dear friend, and I think he's doing a fantastic
worthy.
job.
Yeah, I think he's doing a
as
great
sheriff.
job as sheriff.
And I think also, you have to remember that Justin did not run against T. Michael O'Connor. I think a lot of that was probably based on respect. A lot of it was based on timing. A lot of it was just based on the fact that T. Michael moved on to become a marshal. But the transition of going from a seasoned long-term lawman, but an administrator and grant procurer in the form of T. Michael O'Connor, going to a former patrolman,
Boots on the
a
ground.
boots
guy.
on the ground, man of the people, man on the street guy like Justin Marr has created a synergy within the department or within the sheriff's office that I think is noticeable. The folks that work with and for Justin seem thrilled to be there. I think our retention is on the way up. He's doing everything he can to raise incomes for these guys. And if you find yourself saying, well, our sheriff's officers, our deputies make too much money,
No.
think again.
No.
Number one, they are
Not at all.
not overly compensated. And number two, every day when I sell insurance, I rarely put myself in harm's way.
Well, the
And
sheriff
number
not only-
3, we need a few more on the street.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, the sheriff not only deals with criminals, but they're the ones that are in charge of the mental health. They find some guy going wacko out in town. The cops won't handle it. They'll give it to the sheriff's department. That's who handles that. So not only do they deal with criminals, they deal with crazy people.
Yep.
So Pfizer,
What have we done now?
your wife says she has a fear of having to call 911 for a man that's naked in a bee suit.
Hey,
Wow.
there's always excitement at my place.
You know what, Linda? Your fear. Imagine the fear of the paramedics that have to come and treat a guy
How we get into that
who's
suit,
naked in a bee suit.
covered in bees.
Yeah.
You're going to die.
That's too funny.
Linda's idea of CPR is drop kicking me out the front door.
There you go. Call 911. He's lying there. He ain't running
He's all
anywhere.
yours. I'm done with him.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. So Pfizer announcing they're going to start making drugs to battle the cardiovascular issues that have been happening since COVID and vaccines. Are they just admitting that their vaccines are
Yes.
dangerous?
Yes. Create the problem, get paid copious amounts of
Right.
money for a solution, find a new problem, get paid ridiculous amounts of money for the solution.
Well, we don't
Yeah.
cure anymore. We
No.
medicate
We treat,
for.
yeah. No,
But
and they just
believe
spent
that Pfizer is essentially admitting that their vaccine causes heart problems?
hazardous.
and they
yeah.
just spent $6.7, almost $7 billion to acquire Arena Pharmaceuticals, who happens to be a leader in cardiovascular drug manufacturing. So they're not even going to do the R&D for this stuff. They're just going to buy them and use their already. Well, I mean,
So
I
if
guess
they've
probably
determined
smart,
that that the jab was toxic, who's going to be held responsible for that, and how high will it go? Are we going to go after Fauci because he's the one who really?
The
Can't go after
president-
anybody anymore, I don't
President
think.
gave them immunity from all prosecution, no matter what the results were.
You know what's
Think about
happening
that.
though? You know what's happening, and I don't know that it would happen here, but in Australia, the government of Australia set up a fund for people who have had issues
with
from
that
the
shot.
COVID, and now so the government is paying people who have been harmed by
Slippery slope.
the vaccine.
Slippery slope.
Well, think about it. I mean, you had to know something was up when Biden said, you guys just do your best. Let's rush to market. And, oh, by the way, we'll make you immune from any prosecution.
Yeah.
I mean Trump.
Yep. I wasn't
was
a
Trump.
fan of
Trump
that
did
either.
that.
I
Yeah,
wasn't a fan of that either.
I'm sorry, Trump, the presidency,
I mean, even
the office did that.
There were things even there were things even Reagan did that I didn't appreciate. So
Well, you're not going to be happy with 100% of every
No,
decision
absolutely
Canada
not.
makes, but
But at the same time, it's like, folks, it's a cold.
but
Get
you
over it.
but you
It
and
is,
I
it's a cold.
you and I were not fans of
you both got the
any
jab, didn't you?
of the COVID.
I had to get it twice because I wanted to travel.
Yep. And see, I said no, I'm not doing it. I'm unvaccinated. So when you need a blood transfusion with this unvaccinated blood, let me know.
So many other issues.
But you can only suck so much out of a turnip.
right?
Absolutely.
He mixes his metaphors like that.
Always.
You can only suck so much out of a turnip. Okay. There you, folks, Armor Air, 579-0966. Reach out
I
to
know them
Armor
too.
Air. Reach out to them. They know Junior, and just like
And
us,
they know
Tell
me.
them Junior sent you.
they have a little disdain.
They,
Just like we
they
do.
installed my new air conditioners in my house. Did
Nick
a
Rule
bad,
says I got
beautiful
it
job.
twice because I'm a sheep. I had no choice. I was planning to go back to Canada, and
Yeah.
I wasn't getting in or out
Yep.
without it.
Right.
So, worst decision.
I don't
of my
mind them
life.
testing me. I'll test all day long.
In and out and
In and out.
playing all night, and the
the
music feels right.
Scott Thomas says naked in a bee suit
Mama's
and
gotta squeeze,
unvaccinated.
my daddy never sleeps at night. USA Concrete Coating 578 Home. Let USA Concrete Coating come in and transform your drab slab. They'll seal the cracks, level it up, put down the toughest nails, polyurethane, cut the more cracks too people are made. You will love the results. They can put an Astros logo on
They-
there.
yep,
they
they
can
can-
put a Rangers logo on
They
there.
can do
which
something to help the acoustics, and it will still never help the sound of what you just
You'll
heard, folks.
regret. You'll regret. That was perfect non-harmony. Went services, went generators, went. Electrical, plumbing, emergency, standard. Ash needed a plug. Several years ago, Ash needed a plug in his barn, and he'd gone out there and given it thought. He was out there. I need it to be right here. I want this. I want that. I need it right here. They came out and said, wait a minute. We can do that. But what if we did this, and this? And he goes, oh, really? What's that going to cost? And it was less than what it would have cost to do what he wanted done originally.
And they
I would
actually
have
put
told
the
him, really, comrade, you do not have extension cord.
and that's the thing. They put the plugs where I don't need a bunch of extension cords.
Yeah, and Junior's so generous. The other day I was driving down 447 there on the way to nursery. 447, right?
Yeah.
And you can just follow the extension cords to Junior's place. People from all over the neighborhood, they have these orange extension cords that just run
I was
over
out
to
there
Junior's
weed eating
place.
my fences.
Got a 200 amp plug right there. Plug on in.
And they're all wondering why their power bills have gone up.
Yeah.
Junior doesn't pay any power
That's
bills.
right. I got them extend. I just go out there and cut the lines on the pole.
And don't forget White Trash Services, 550-1826. Give White Trash a call for all your trash collection needs. It's trash day. I'll have a trash-tastic day today.
That was
Folks,
yesterday. For me.
Stay with me. Give us a chance. We'll work this out.
We're trying.
We're on
There's
your
only
side.
so much polish you can put on a turd.
We're working with you.
Scott Tomko says if we would have stopped at 8, they wouldn't have had to hear you guys sing.
For 2 years now.
True story.
For
Yes.
2 years now, I've been putting powdered sugar on this turd and trying to sell it to you as a donut. Its name is Junior Sam.
That is me. I take that epitaph.
We
all
love
all
you
that
guys,
powder's in his goatee.
right? And with that, I bid you farewell. See you tomorrow,
Y'all have
folks.
a great
folks.
day, folks.
Love you, folks. Bye-bye.